Despite how confident they may look, nobody you have ever met in your lifetime is exempt from fear. Fear is one of the most basic human emotions, and it seems to underpin everything. If you're really paying attention to it, we seem to stew in fear as a species. So when was the last time you felt terribly nervous? Before a big presentation, before a big meeting, before an important date? It happens to everyone, and it happens all the time. We simply don't have access to other people's internal emotional states, and that's why we tend to perceive the people around us as more confident, and we perceive ourselves as more fearful. It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy that is easy to understand when you realize that you only have access to your own internal state. What you have access to in terms of other people is their external state. You're seeing the body language, you're seeing the act, you're seeing the persona. The fear is always there. I've been a professional speaker for some 15 years now, and people ask whether or not I become nervous or get a little afraid before I get up on a stage. And the answer is yes, it never goes away. It gets better. It gets easier, and you learn to control it. But I think there's something of a perverse comfort in the idea that it doesn't ever go away, and so if you're feeling the fear, you're human, you are mortal, you are normal. Alright, so what can we do about it? Well, I believe that the number one technique for overcoming fear is really about the story you tell yourself. How do you frame the fear trigger in your own mind? What story are you telling yourself? Let's take the example of speaking in public. Here are two ways you can talk to yourself before a big presentation. You might say, I cannot believe I have to stand up and speak in front of 500 people. Now that's the bad way of framing it. The other way of doing it is just to change the nature of the self-talk and to say, I can't believe I get to speak in front of 500 people. I must be doing something right. Here I am today, I've been invited on a stage, there are 500 people present, and they're about to listen to me. Wow, look how well I'm doing. You can use the same basic logic and the same basic narrative for anything that you approach. Let's say, for instance, you're going into a big meeting, and there's the CEO that you're about to meet with, and you think, this person is big and scary and important and full of authority. Well, yes, but you get to meet with them. So what does that tell you about how well you're doing? There's an interesting news story. I get to meet with the CEO. I must be doing something right. What are the things that cause you the most fear? What are the things that cause the palms to sweat, cause the breath to shorten, that keep you up at night, cause you nightmares? What if you told yourself a different story about that scenario? Even if you can't find an overt or an active positive, you can at least neutralize the fear. For example, let's take the speech one again. Let's say that you cannot convince yourself that you get to speak for 500 people. At the very least, you can tell yourself this story. They're not here to watch me fail. No audience files into a room, sits down, gives of their time in the hopes that you will do badly. It's simply absurd. The audience is there to hear you out, and they're hoping you'll do well because they want you to be interesting. Same applies, for example, to a first date. The person is not there hoping you will be awful. They're hoping this will be a good experience. They're hoping that they will like you, that you'll get on well, that the chemistry will be excellent. So how about if you told yourself that story instead? Watch out for that self-talk. The voice inside your head makes a big difference to your own levels of fear. Fear is normal. It's natural. It's just what we do about it that matters. Could you tell yourself a better story about the things that matter most to you?